Hi everyone, and thank you for joining me in another Ready to Ride Pilates for Horse Rider sessions. Although if you are not a horse rider, of course all the exercises we do in this session will be perfect for you, provided that you are fit and healthy enough to do these exercises. Whoever you are, wherever you've come from, you do need to be warmed up before you do this session. So if you aren't already warmed up, I suggest you go and have a look at one of the three individual warm-up sessions that are on this Ready to Ride channel. Have a go at one of those and then come back and join in this session. If you are all set and ready to go, then join me and let's get started, as we're going to work your glutes and thighs and legs really quite hard in this session. You're going to start off lying on your side, and we need to be in your clown position. So that means lying with your knees bent and your feet lined up with your bottom. Mouse hole open, top hand onto your top headlight, and take your pelvic floor lift up onto floor 3. Lift your top feet off the mat, and then we're going to open and close that top knee. And as you do so, you are keeping that mouse hole nicely open, keeping your pelvic floor onto floor 3, and keeping that top headlight really still. That means that you are really working your glutes through their full range, which is brilliant when you're horse riders. You need excellent strong glutes. They're your powerhouse. They help to keep you nice and strong and stable in the saddle, and that's why we're working them so hard today. So keep checking with yourself. Mouse hole, pelvic floor and headlights. And we're going to stay at the top and add in 5 little pulses at the top. Now I warn you, I'm absolutely terrible at counting while I'm speaking, so if I lose count, don't worry, ignore me. Try and do the pulses yourself without me counting you through them. Last set. Okay, then we're going to pop your legs straight and we're going to work your glutes through their full available range. This is another really good exercise for making sure your glutes you're using all those fibres of your glutes. There's 3 different sets of your middle gluteal muscle, front, middle and back. We want to work all 3 different portions. So once again, before you start, mouse hole, pelvic floor onto floor 3. If you can, top hand onto your top headlight, and then you're going to take that top leg right up as far as you can and all the way back down again. Up as far as you can, all the way back down again, keeping that mouse hole open. What you want to avoid is sinking down through your side as you do the movement. That would be an indication that you're using your body to do the movement rather than your glutes. So you're moving from the hip all the way through. Keep checking. Mouse hole, pelvic floor, and that top headlight staying straight ahead. Okay, we're going to make it a little bit harder this time, and we're going to turn your leg so that your top foot is pointing up to the ceiling. Now as you, or in my case the sky, now as you do this, you want to watch that that top leg doesn't start to creep forwards. That will throw you off balance. It also means you're not working your glutes as hard, so keep that top foot pointing upwards. It's quite hard. Keep checking your mouse hole and your pelvic floor. Then we're going to change it, and you're going to lead the movement with your heel leading instead. So now you're working the back fibres of that middle gluteal muscle. This is hard. Might be starting to feel a little bit of a burn now, but don't worry, we're not going to do hundreds. Okay, keep checking that mouse hole staying open. That pelvic floor onto floor 3, and that top headlight nice and still. Okay, brilliant. Give your leg a little bit of a breather. I'd like you to prop up so that you're onto your forearm next. Then you're going to take your legs back into that capital L position, so you're in a straight line from shoulders, hips to knees, and then you're bent 90 degrees at your knees. And we're going to move on to doing what's called your side kick exercise. We're going to make it a little bit harder than we have done in the past. So to start off with, you need to prop up so that you're just weight bearing through your forearm and your knees. Then we're going to float your top leg, and then move that leg up and down so your knee comes up somewhere around about your hips and your pelvis. This is quite tough, but this is a brilliant exercise for riders because it gets you moving your leg forwards and backwards, controlling that movement from the hip, but keeping the rest of your body nice and still. It's exactly what you want to be thinking about if you want to have that independent seat and nice independent leg movement. This is a really crucial exercise to get well. So keep thinking, is that pelvic floor still onto floor 3? As you are moving the leg, is the knee staying at 90 degrees? Is the quality of the movement there? And is that top headlight staying absolutely still? So keep checking pelvic floor, headlight, what's that leg up to? Going to do a couple more. Super. Okay, pop that leg down. Then we're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. So we're starting off in that clown position. So knees bent, feet lined up with your bottom, feet off your mat. Mouse hole open, pelvic floor onto floor 3, top hand onto your top headlight, and off we go, opening and closing once again. And as you go, keep running through that little mantra. Mouse hole, pelvic floor, headlight. Are they in position? Are they where you want them? Just the same as you would on the horse. All your body parts where you want them for you to be able to perform that movement correctly. Then we will add in those pulses. So at the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then bring that leg back down again to the top and pulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and come back down again. Keep going, still with your mouse hole, pelvic floor, and top headlight. You might start to feel the burn a little bit quicker on this side because this leg's already worked quite hard when it was your underneath leg on the other side. Do one more. And then bring that leg back down again. Okay, now we're going to do your through range glutes exercise. So straighten both of your legs. Once again, mouse holes. Open, pelvic floor onto floor 3, top hand onto your top headlight. If you start to get a bit wobbly or you're feeling a bit tired, by all means put one hand on the mat in front of you, but if you can go without, that would be really super. So when you're ready, you're taking that top leg up as far as you can, then slowly back down. Lifting as far as you can, slowly back down. Remembering as you lift, that mouse hole stays open. You want to avoid collapsing through your side. Does that sound familiar? Don't collapse on one side. Yeah, we've all been told that, haven't we? Doing this sort of exercise, making sure your glutes are stronger, that's going to give you that solid foundation around your pelvis and probably make it less likely that you are going to collapse on one side. Okay, now we're going to make it a little bit harder. Turn your foot so your toes are pointing upwards. Now as you add this in, watch you don't bring the leg forwards and watch you don't roll around through your pelvis. The movement comes from your hip. That's what's making the glutes work so hard. Still keep checking mouse hole, pelvic floor, and is that top headlight where you want it? Okay, we'll do one more like this, and then we're going to change it, and this time last go, leading with the heel. Same thing, mouse hole, pelvic floor and headlights, and watching you haven't rolled forwards through your pelvis as you do this one. This is the toughest one of all. I often think we are a little bit stiff through our hips under this. This is a difficult movement to get, and so it makes it even harder as you're trying to do the movement and keep the muscles working into a movement you already find a little bit tricky to do. So a couple more. Okay, then you bring that leg down. Then we're going to go into your capital L position once again. So straight line from shoulders, hips to knees, knees bent to 90 degrees, propped up onto that forearm, and we're going to do your side kick. So lift that pelvis, float the top leg, and just like you did before, you're bringing that top knee up to around about your hip and pelvis level. So this is this brilliant exercise for working on that independent seat and independent leg movement. Super exercise to do because you can really work on the quality of what you're doing. All the time thinking pelvic floor onto floor 3, top headlight pointing straight ahead so the movement is purely coming from the hip. If you're on the horse, you wouldn't want your pelvis to be moving if you just intended to move your leg. Same thing with this exercise. Well done, we're just going to do a couple more. You may well be starting to feel a little bit sore by now, those glutes are getting a little bit crampy. Okay, so bring that leg down, super duper. You need to have a little stretch out in sitting just for a moment, just to make sure those glutes aren't going into cramp, then by all means do. And then we're going to come up into standing. We're going to start off by doing some deep squats. This is another really good exercise for those glutes. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see a little bit better what I'm going to do. So you can do this in two different ways. I'm going to go into a forward squat to start off with. So hands together is a nice little thing to do, gives your hands something to do. So I'm going to go forwards with my hands. This is great, particularly if you do a lot of jumping, because obviously as you're going over a fence, you want to have that stability that your hands go forward, but your body is secure down through your seat as you go over the fence. You can vary it a little bit if you want to, and you can make it more of just a deep squat on the spot if you really want to. Both of those are really going to work your glutes good and hard. They're also going to be working your thighs, and you're probably feeling that at the moment, which is good. Do a few more of these. If you can, as you're doing these, think about doing your pelvic floor onto floor 3 at the same time. That is fantastic. Okay, last one. Super, okay. Then, just as you catch your breath, have a little think. We're going to be moving on to your deep lunge exercise, which is another really, really good exercise for working glutes and thigh muscles. So I'm going to show you how we do this one. Hands onto your headlights. You're going to go forwards, checking you've got good alignment between hips, knees and toes, down into a dip, back up again. Forwards, down into a dip, back up again. Go as deep as you feel you can control. Particularly if you've got slightly dodgy knees, don't force this one. As deep as you can go. Keeping your shoulders over your pelvis. So thinking of shoulders being stacked on top of those pelvic headlights. As deep as you can go. This is good. Don't mind the odd wobble, she says. Nearly falling over. Couple more. Don't forget, if you're eventing, by the time you've warmed up for your show jumping, done your round, warmed up for your cross country and done your round, those glutes and those legs are going to work really hard, so you need to push your stamina with these exercises, which is why I'm making you work quite hard now. Okay, going to let you catch your breath, and we're going to move on to the standing clown, which is just the same as what we did lying down, but in standing, really good for your balance. Okay, so one leg up, foot balanced by your knee, check your headlights to the front, pelvic floor onto floor 3, and then you're going to turn the knee out into the clown movement. So this is a really good combination of balance, essential for riders, and good glutes activity. We're going to make it a little bit harder now, and add in the extensions. So open, straighten, bend, close, open, straighten, bend, close, open, straighten, bend, close. How good is this exercise? Combine so many different things. I love it. You can also, as you're doing this one, think about what your shoulders are up to. Check your shoulder blades are back and down, open through the front of your shoulders. Great exercise to combine lots of different things. Okay, swap and have a go with the other leg. So get your balance first. Check your headlight position, pelvic floor, and then you're opening and closing. And if you can think about your shoulders again, super duper. Keep that pelvic floor onto floor 3. Look for that symmetry of movement, so you're feeling the movement is coming from your hip once again, just like when you were lying on your side. And then we're adding your extensions, so open, straighten, bend, close. Open, straighten, bend, close. This is good. Keep those headlights as level as you can. You may well find as you start to get a bit tired that it's harder to keep your headlights level, or if your garden's a bit unlevel, start to lose your balance. A couple more of this one. This is great for working those glutes in so many different positions. It's exactly what you need when you're on the horse. All those different positions that your legs go into as you're moving, applying the A's, going over fences. Now a little walk on the spot. Make sure you're not getting tight anywhere. Okay, this is a really good one. Again, this is another great one for jumpers, but it's good for everybody, but particularly for jumpers. Okay, so we're going to practice standing on one leg and then lifting that heel. Looks really easy, but I bet you will find that you get tired super quick. So the key with this one, over time, if you can come back to this session again, or actually practice this particular exercise on your own, is to really build up the repetitions. I think the recommendation is you should be able to do about 50 good quality ones. I'm nowhere near that. Okay, then let's swap and have a go on the other leg. Always key, if you're doing anything on one leg, get your balance before you start. So balance, and then into those lifts. And this is so good for anyone that's doing any form of jumping, or actually even if you just enjoy long hacks with lots of long canters out of the saddle, is you use your calf muscles so much. Probably shouldn't talk while I'm trying to do it. You use your calf muscles so much to give you that stability when you're in that forward and light seat. So having good strong calf muscles is really crucial, really, to put it simply. Okay, a couple more. Okay, and then I'm going to walk on the spot and make sure that you're not cramping up through those calves because you've been working pretty hard. Okay, and then we're going to finish off with a nice calf stretch. Again, I'm going to go sideways so you can really see. Nice big stretch if you possibly can. Both feet forwards, headlights forwards, back heel down, back knee straight, and you go forwards into that nice stretch. Come back to ease off the stretch. And we're always going to do 3 stretches, each one for 10 seconds. And then straighten back up again. And you will notice as we do this stretch, I try to keep my shoulders over my pelvis. If you find that you're flopping forwards or leaning back, you can affect the effectiveness of the stretch. So try to keep your shoulders over your pelvis. Okay, come back up, and then we're going to swap and do exactly the same from the other way. So again, nice big gap, feet pointing forwards, knees over toes, headlights forwards, back heel down and back knee straight, forwards into that stretch. And then straighten back up again, just like you did before. And again, we're going to do 3 lots of 10 seconds. That was number 1. And stretch number 2. And then straighten back up again. We're going to do 1 more stretch this way. Here we go, last time. Okay, and then come back up. And now a little walk on the spot just to make sure that you keep that circulation going as we finish. Okay, so that was a really hard session, quite short but quite intense. That is exactly what you need if you are doing any form of jumping of any kind. If you're doing lots of long hacks, we're doing lots of cantering, particularly out of the saddle. This is the sort of thing you need to be doing on a regular basis to make sure that you are really fit enough and strong enough to be doing what you want to be doing with your horse. I hope you found it really helpful, and I hope you'll be joining me for the next session, hopefully in about a week's time. Take care in the meantime, and I will see you again.